There's been a lot of talk on the internet lately about how Sezane has become very hit or miss. Well, let's see for ourselves. You gave me suggestions of what you wanted to see reviewed, and I got the goods, so let's get into it. I feel like I need more color on my lips. It's feeling very washed out. Okay, so let's start with a positive. These are the Martin crop trousers. I've had them for a few months now, but someone requested for a proper review of them, and I have to say that I love them. So normally with Sezane trousers, they just fit so weirdly on me. There's always like too much space in the crotch, and they're normally, or the ones I've tried, are like very straight cut, whereas I like trousers that kind of fit you really nicely on the waist and the hip, as these do. And because they are cropped, they are just the perfect length for me. I'm 5'2", if you don't know. I think you can tell I am very short. And they just fit so nicely. These are also a linen and cotton mix, I believe. And they're quite sturdy, so they're quite a nice structure for trousers. And I just think the gingham, you know, is very fun for spring, summer. I don't have any gingham trousers. Actually, most of my trousers are not patterned in any way. So this was just a really good addition, and I can't rave about them enough. I think the only thing I will say about them is I wish they had belt loops. I don't know if I would wear a belt with them actually, but I would just like to have the option. And just, yeah, a belt loop would be great. But other than that, love. So next we have the Will jacket in camel suede, and I've styled it here with a Doan lace cami. These jeans are from Petite Studio. I like that the ecru kind of matches with the ecru lace, and then loafers are from Tony Bianco. So the Will jacket is definitely more of a shirt than a jacket. Don't purchase this jacket thinking it's gonna feel like a proper jacket. How many times can I say that word? So it's unlined, and I think that gives it more of a shirt feeling instead of a more structured jacket or blazer sort of thing. But because it is more of a shirt style, I do feel as if it's more casual, and I kind of like it for spring or summer as that sort of a light layer on top. Now, as you can see, it is pretty long on me. Again, I'm 5'2", so you know, most things are long on me. And I do sort of feel like if I wear it, I need to roll up the sleeves. Otherwise, I'm a little bit lost in just the length of it. But because the shoulders fit on me, I don't think it looks too oversized. So it fits here. It might be a bit long on the length, but because you can see where my waist is, I kind of offset how long the jacket is, if that makes sense. In terms of quality, this is definitely one of Sezane's premium products. It's on the higher price point. I think it's like 200 to 300 if I remember correctly. But I do think it is actually made really well. From what I've seen, all the stitches are really small and precise. The buttons have been reinforced. They have been sewn on really well and tightly, and there's like a button on the inside that reinforces them. And it has that really nice suede leather smell as well, which, you know, is not necessarily a marker of quality, but it does smell really nice. You know, it's quite a simple piece, but it is made quite nicely. Okay, so next we have the Luce top, which is a halter neck. Let me show you. Halter neck top, and has this like little bead at the, I say little, it's quite big actually, this big bead at the front. And you know, I am always a fan of like easy to wear going out tops for summertime that you can match with different skirts, different trousers, different jeans, and you can kind of change how you want to wear it depending on your accessories and what you wear it with, how you do your hair. But it has a little bit of interest to it, which would be this bead at the front. And I'm always a fan of things like this, which are really easy to wear. It is a very stretchy material, so it's really comfortable. I am personally a fan of a halter neck. I think on me, it's quite a nice shape. And in terms of sizing, because the material is very stretchy, I think the sizing is quite flexible. So for example, I think this is an extra small, but I also definitely could have gone with a small or even a medium, because when you look at it, it's like very small. But when you put it on, it stretches. So sizing is flexible and yeah, very, very comfortable. So this is the Ronnie Blouse, which was a very highly requested top to review. And I can kind of see why. It is very pretty, very, you know, feminine, and just an easy top to wear for summer. I will say that if you are bigger than a B cup, I would size up. I bought my usual size, which is a UK size 6, and it's very, very tight around here. Other than that, I really can't fault it. I think it's a really nice top. For summer, it's just like that quintessential summer embroidery that is really popular at the moment. I mean, it's always really popular for summer, but I think particularly this summer, I've seen so much like cotton embroidery. I will also say that I really like how they haven't just cut the bottom of it straight, but they've left like the edges of the embroidery. I think that is a really nice touch, you know, for something so simple like this. That little bit of detail is something I quite appreciate. I think the buttons that they've used, as always, Sezane buttons are always really nice. And yeah, I can understand why this is such a popular top for Sezane at the moment. It's just a very inoffensive, pretty summer top. So next up is the Ron top, and initial reaction is I wish I got the black one instead. I don't love a nude bra peeking through a nude sort of colored top. I just don't think it's very chic. Whereas if it was black and you have a black bra peeking through, I feel like that is a little bit more chic. I absolutely loved this top on the model. I think the model looks amazing in this top, and that's probably why it was so highly requested as well. But on me, I feel like nothing's really happening. It's just kind of like on me. It is 100% cotton, but it's quite a hard, stiff cotton. So when I move in it, it does feel a little bit scratchy on my skin. So if you are hypersensitive to things like that, I don't think you're gonna like the sensation of this on your skin, because even now I'm a bit like, ugh, and I'm normally fine with things like that. Also, on closer inspection of the pattern, it's all very squiggly and squirrely and curly, and it makes me feel a bit funny. I don't think I could tell online like what it really looked like up close. Obviously I'll show you cutaways, but yeah, the pattern just makes me feel a little bit weird when I look at it really closely. So this top is just not for me. Okay, so next I have on the Kylie Cardigan. This is another one that had quite a few requests, and I had never heard of the Kylie Cardigan before, so thank you for showing me the way. This is quite a tight fitting piece, but it is very stretchy, as you can see. I went for a small. I normally size up if a top has buttons down the front and is tight, because you never want it to gape open at the boobs. So I think a small was a good call because the buttons are intact. It's also cropped, which, as you know, I love. It just, you know, I'm petite, so anything cropped is just the best, especially when it comes to knitwear, because most knitwear is just far too long. It is also very comfortable on my skin. I'm not wearing anything underneath, and it's very, very smooth and comfortable to wear. This is something that I really want to recommend because I just think the fit and the cut of it is so good. And you know, sometimes you just need a plain black cardigan, but I can only half-heartedly recommend it because of the synthetic in it, sadly. I think it really depends on your priorities, your needs in your wardrobe. If the synthetic doesn't bother you, I think this is a good purchase. If it does, then of course, don't even think about it. I also ordered it in red because I have a red cashmere cardigan, and sometimes that is just too thick and warm to wear. So I wanted to get one that's in mostly cotton, and I thought this would be a really good one. But as you can see, the red is more of a orange than a red, so I'm not sure about it. I thought it was a red, although I don't mind the orange. It's like very slightly orange, but we'll see. I also got this in an extra small just to try out the size, but it's too small and it does kind of gape at the boobs. So if I do decide to keep it, I will need to exchange it for a larger size. The Bobby Trench. I really wanted this to work. I really tried to make it work so many times, but the shape, there's just, let's break it down. So this is the cropped version of the famous Clyde Trench, which I do also have and will be reviewing. And I was really excited when they brought this out because I thought, great, it's cropped. It's gonna look great on me. But, you know, just because you're petite and something is cropped doesn't mean it's gonna work. And this is an example of that. I've seen this look so good on other people. I think, you know, when I see this on other people, I love it. But when I put it on myself, I just feel quite like, you know, it just doesn't, it gives me nothing. I think it's because there's no structure on the shoulders. And for me, I need a bit of structure. Otherwise, it looks like I have no shoulders. There's nothing here. And then secondly, even though it's cropped, which is great, there's still a lot of material because the shape of it sort of flares out. So it has buttons on the side here, which you can fasten and make smaller or bigger. They are currently not fastened to be smaller. So this is like the biggest it will look. Even if I fasten it to be a bit smaller, there's just still too much material going on here. The shape of it is almost like a trapeze, like very A-line. And I think as someone who is petite, it's just too much material and you can just kind of see for yourself, it just doesn't look right on me. And then we also have the sleeves, which go for sort of the same A-line cut. They are quite big at the ends. So there's just a lot of material. I don't know if the sleeves are intentionally this long, so you have to roll them up. I do see a lot of people roll them up, and I think that, you know, you do get that sort of checkered lining, which is very nice, but it just looks like it's too big for me. So yeah, I really wanted to love this. I was so prepared for this to be like my new spring jacket, but unfortunately it's just not for me. Okay, so this is the Clyde. This is the original version of the trench coat that they've had for ages, loads of different colors, and looks good on so many people. I will say I do prefer, oh, sorry for not steaming it, by the way, that doesn't look great. I do think this looks better than the Bobby Trench, surprisingly. I think because it's long, the weight of it gives it a better drape, whereas with the Bobby, because it's like up here and there's so much material, it just sort of is a bit floaty. Whereas with this, I do think looks better, but it still doesn't give me much. I don't know. I think, again, the shoulders having no structure is just something that doesn't look good on me. I need there to be something here. I also think that buttoned up, it doesn't look that good. I think it only looks good when it's open. Let me just button it up and show you. Yeah, it just doesn't look that great. When I see it on other people, I think that is such a good trench coat. So maybe it's just my proportion. And again, I think the shoulders play a really big part in this. It's just a bit too nothing. I find the sizing and the shape of it to be a bit strange as well. So, I mean, maybe it is my petiteness. I think maybe they just need to come out with a petite version. When I put my hands in the pocket, I can't comfortably reach the bottom of the pocket inside. Do you know what I mean? So like I kind of need to bend down a little bit. So the pockets are too low for me, but again, I am petite. And I also find that the armhole is actually cut really high. So even though it is you know, it looks oversized from the outside, but the armhole is cut very high, which means that if I want to layer underneath with a jumper, I can't really do that. It would be too restricted. And when I buy coats and outerwear, I like to make sure there is space for me to layer so that it is more versatile. I can wear it more. But with this, yeah, I would struggle to put a jumper underneath and wear it comfortably. So what are some good things about it? I guess the composition is great. I think it's 100% cotton. Great. I do like the lining. I think that's why this coat is so popular, because all the linings on the different colors, the colors that they've chosen for the lining is really nice. It kind of pops really nicely against the main body of the coat. I mean, it is quite a plain design, which I think is why so many people like it and look good in it, because it's plain, so it can suit a lot of people. But overall on me, it just falls a little bit flat. This is the Raquel Dress. Not something I would choose for myself. I don't know if this is my style, but it is a very nice dress. It does fit really well. It feels very grown up and mature to me. I feel like this is something my younger self would have imagined I would be wearing, like, once I'm a mum. I'm getting mum, like cool young mum vibes in this dress, but I like it. What I appreciate about this dress is that the belt is in the right place. So normally with things like this, or, you know, with like jumpsuits, the waist is never in the right place for me. It's always too low because I'm petite. How many times can I tell you I'm petite in one video? And so I really appreciate that this waist is in the right place. If you're taller and you wear this, is the waist in the right place for you as well? How does that work? This is 100% cotton, I believe. Although you do have to be careful when you are choosing other colors of this dress that you check the composition, because I think the other colors were mainly synthetic. And that's not just with this dress, but with a lot of Sezane's pieces. You just have to always check the composition. Even if you're looking at the same piece but in a different color, the materials do tend to change. I went for this color because it was 100% cotton. I think I wanted to try the green or the black, but I think those were synthetic, so I had to go with this color. But you know, this is a very quintessential summery shade, so I'm not mad about it. I think overall, it's a very nice dress. The two things I do think let it down though, I think that the sleeves are very tight. It's not the most comfortable on my arms. So that's one thing. And then the second thing is I do think a bit more thought could have gone into the belt. The belt just threads through this plastic circle here. So there's nothing to fasten it into place. And so it does loosen quite easily. And I do think if that tiny bit more effort went into the belt, this would be a great dress. So yeah, those are just my thoughts. But if you like it, go for it. It is 100% cotton. If you get this color, remember to check the composition of the others. Okay, so two pieces that I have styled together, because why not? The Le Crop jeans and Oliver top. So let's start with the jeans. I really wanted to love these. I was hoping that they would fit like the Martin crop trousers, because I've heard so many good things about these jeans, especially for petite girls, that they just fit really nicely and, you know, everything. But for me, I just don't feel like there's much happening. I think that they are slightly wider than I thought that they were. I thought they were slightly slimmer. I didn't realize they were as wide as this. These are the size 8. I also ordered a size UK 6, but the 6 is very snug. So I think size up. But with sizing up, I kind of just don't feel like it's doing anything for me. They're kind of just hanging on me, you know what I mean? So yeah, I kind of feel a bit indifferent about these, although I do like the wash of these. And the denim also feels really nice. I quite like the feel of the denim. Because they are looser, they're also really comfortable. So there is that. But because I have so many pairs of jeans that I love, a pair of jeans really, really has to, you know, be up here for me to want them. And these just kind of like do nothing for me. So I styled the jeans with the Oliver vest top. I like that it's cropped. I'll untuck it so you can see it is slightly cropped. Obviously the stripe design is so classic. It is 100% cotton, so that's great. I do like the thick ribbing around here and the arms. The only thing I don't like about this is that the armhole is cut really low, so you can see my bra there. So that's just something you need to decide if you like. I thought maybe mine was defected, but then I took a look on the website, and even on the model, the armhole is cut really low, so I think that's just the way it's meant to be. But I don't know, I'm not a fan. I don't really like that, like, you know, you can see my bra. I think there are certain tops where a little bit of bra on show looks great. I don't think this is one of them. It just looks like, it just doesn't look right on this vest top. Firstly, thank you so much for sending in what you wanted to be reviewed. I hope that this was somewhat helpful. If you enjoyed this video and you want to stick around, you can watch my latest video on the screen. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.